Hey guys, welcome back to Lap 1 News, and today we're going to be reviewing Ferrari's F1 2021 season. So let's get into it. So, Ferrari were a team coming off the back of a very disappointing season in 2020. They were nowhere near the pace. They were comfortably 4th, 5th fastest car. The way they dealt with the Sebastian Vettel, I think it was all just a disappointing season for them, to say the least. They weren't going to be happy. Because of that, going into this year, expectations were a little bit lower than they usually are. They weren't expected to be fighting at the top, especially because the cars remained much the same from last year, barring the changes in technical regulations with the floor. For the most part, they were the same car. So nobody really expected Ferrari to pull any trees up there, and with Sainz coming into the team, we weren't sure how well he was going to take to the car, whether he was going to, whether he was going to beat Charles Leclerc, or whether Charles Leclerc was just going to absolutely wipe the floor with him. So, that expectations were low, but they were really surprising. They came out the blocks a little bit slowly, not really too slowly. I mean, for much of the season, they were neck and neck with McLaren, fighting for that third position in the Constructors' Championship. And they got it, in the last few races of the season. They really put their foot down, and McLaren didn't. So, in the end, they were comfortably ahead in P3 in the Constructors' Championship by the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So let's talk a little bit about the inter-team battle there. Sainz, what a season he has had, okay? He's just had a truly remarkable season. He has not only taken to that car really quickly, he has performed better than Charles Leclerc has done. And that, which, considering how highly rated Charles Leclerc has been, that's something to behold. And you can see why he was rated when he was with Toro Rosso before Verstappen came along, because the talent is clearly there. He showed that with McLaren when he was there a few years ago, and he's showing that now with Ferrari as well. And I'm really pleased for him to get 5th place in the Drivers' Championship. And, well, he got 4 podiums, didn't he, this year? He got a 2nd place in Monaco and a 3rd in Hungary, Russia and Abu Dhabi. So, he was just always up there. I think the team as a whole, there were only 6 occasions where both drivers did not score points, which I think that's a remarkable feat over the season, and they've just done very well, basically. Charles Leclerc, he's had a less, not so good as Carlos Sainz, but still a good season nonetheless, He's finished P7 in the Constructors behind Carlos and Lando. It was really close between those two, or those 3 drivers. He only just missed out in P5, P6. And he did get a podium this year. He got 1 second place in Silverstone. And, it was just a very good season for Charles, an incredible season for Carlos, and on the whole, great season for Ferrari. They were just there. There's nothing really, I can't really think anything of note that they really did, and that's a compliment to them, really, that they've not done anything catastrophically bad. They've just always been there. They've been consistent, and it's really good to see the resurgence of Ferrari. Hopefully next year, their car, with the new regulations, is going to be really strong, and it can be up there fighting with where we're used to seeing Ferrari. But we'll have to wait and see. They've kept the same driver lineup. I really think that driver lineup is going to be one to keep an eye out. It's possibly one of the best on the grid. Maybe not now with Hamilton and George Russell in the same team, but it's certainly up there with one of the strongest pairings on the grid. You're not going to find many better than Carlos and Charles. So it's going to be really interesting to keep an eye on, because we were all expecting Charles Leclerc to be the dominant force in that team. We expected him to be number one. We expected him to maybe not wipe the floor with Carlos, but we did expect him to beat him. And that's just not been the case. They're really evenly matched, and it's going to be really interesting to see what can happen, especially if Ferrari gives them a race-winning car next year. I think that has the potential maybe to turn into something a little bit feisty. I think at times this year they've used team orders to good effect, but I think that might come back to bite them if they try and do that when the drivers are fighting for the championship, just because, obviously the drivers aren't going to want to do that when they're fighting for wins, fighting for podiums. So if they get the car underneath the drivers, I think that there might be a little bit of an issue between the drivers, but as things stand, they are a great pairing, and I'm excited to see what they can do next year with hopefully a championship winning car, or a car capable of winning the championship. But anyway, guys, this is going to be it for today's video. As always, if you have enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more motorsport content. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Lap1News1 for all the latest in the world of racing. My Extreme E content is going to be over there. The write-ups for the Pit Crew Online are all going to be there. So do check that out if you are interested in Extreme E. But anyway, guys, this has been John Montico from Lap1 News, and I'm out. See you next time.